What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Blank Online here today to chat with you more about some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. Now, we have a bit more news and a bit more leaks regarding this game's development coming out from the main man, TheGamingRevolution, once again, where he dictates that they're having a bit of problems with the development process of the multiplayer. He says that apparently a reason as to why it hasn't been released yet is because the game is apparently very different to the original Modern Warfare 2 when they've changed a lot of things and they don't think the community will like it. Which makes a lot of sense because the main people that want this game is the people who have been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, since COD 4, since maybe even before that up until now. So it's the hardcore fans, the people that know what Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer is, the people that know what it's like, the people who've experienced it in its prime. And it makes a lot of sense. If they've made a lot of changes and they don't think the community is gonna like it, then why would they release it just to get all this backlash? If you get what I mean. Modern Warfare 2's original multiplayer, I would describe it as a beautiful mess. The reason that game was so fun is because literally everything was overpowered and everything was unbalanced. If you were a newbie going into that game, you had no safe space to carry you. You had no skill-based matchmaking to tailor your experience. Literally, you were put into a game based on what the best connection is for you, and that was it. If you didn't understand what mechanics worked in this game, if you didn't understand what weapons were the best in this game, you would get plastered. For example, me, when I first jumped into Modern Warfare 2, I used a thermal scar, which is not the best weapon to use, and it's not the best thing to use in general, even now in Call of Duty. So for me, going into Modern Warfare 2 and experiencing one-man army noob tubes, commando pro knifing and all that sort of crap, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I getting shredded? And then I took my time to learn the game. I took my time to understand it and get better at the game. And eventually, I took advantage of those mechanics and those unbalanced and overpowered mechanics as well to make the game a lot more fun. And that's what everyone did. Because everybody knew exactly what to do, everyone knew the bugs, everyone knew the glitches and the unbalancing and everything like that, and it made Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer fun. That was the main concern for, and I guess for this development team as well, whether that be High Moon, whether that be Raven, is what do you do? Do you just bring back the original multiplayer with all of its flaws and all of its bugs, or do you fix the bugs and glitches and overpowers and then you release it and it's not the same experience as it was back in 2010? Do you play with that fire? Do you play with the goodwill of the community and sort of release a product that doesn't necessarily, maybe not necessarily fit all the nostalgic beats that everyone is kind of expecting it to do? I know for me, for example, if the game does not play the same, does not look the same, does not feel the same as the original Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, I'm gonna feel a little bit hard done by it, because I'm gonna be like, I literally was waiting for this thing for this amount of time. This is the first ever Call of Duty game that I ever played, so I have a fond memory of it and I have a fond experience of it and I know what it's like. And if it's not like that, then we're gonna have some problems. Do they do something like they did with Modern Warfare Remastered, where they just released the game pretty much as it was? And if they do release it as it was, the people that didn't play Modern Warfare 2 and the people that didn't experience that and don't understand it are gonna rage and they're gonna be upset because they're like, why am I getting noob tubed? Why is this dude lunging at me with a knife? It's gonna be those new school Call of Duty fans that complain. So where do you find the balance here? And I think that's one of the things that they're sort of coming to terms with, is where do you find the balance with what they should have to appeal to the old school hardcore fans and what they should have to appeal to the new school fans as well. He continues talking the TheGamingRevolution, and he continues by saying they don't know if they're ever going to release it. I've heard that they're still testing it out, so I'm assuming they're still changing things. I feel like it is still going to be coming out at some point. I just really do not know when. It really wouldn't surprise me if it's not until a year from now, which again would make a lot of sense to release it a year from now. I think that with Warzone and with Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, as well as of course the normal Modern Warfare's multiplayer as well, we have enough Call of Duty to kind of survive us until Call of Duty 2020. And when that game releases, that's going to be the main focus. And then where do you go from there? To release this game's Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered at the same time that Warzone was released this year. But then again, if we're doing it in 2021, what you got to realize is that Modern Warfare 2 2021 is releasing as well, so the continuation of the new Modern Warfare trilogy. So do you confuse people by releasing two properties named Modern Warfare 2 in the same year? How do you sort of judge and how do you sort of manage people's sort of expectations when they see Modern Warfare 2 on the shelf and they buy it and it's the old Modern Warfare 2? How do you manage that? Because you got to think, like me, you, everyone watching this video, we're hardcore Call of Duty fans. We know what it's like. We know the difference between Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered and the difference between Modern Warfare 2 whenever that game comes out in 2021. The general public, the mom, the dad, the uncle, the grandpa, the grandma, the anyone who doesn't play video games and doesn't understand this and buys their kid Modern Warfare 2 for Christmas and it's Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered, and the kid's like, what the fuck, this is like a 10-year-old game. They wanted the new Modern Warfare because they want to save space with their friends or whatever. I guess that's one thing they got to consider as well. While I do really want this game to come out, while I do really want to relive those memories, the one thing that I can't escape is timing. We have so much Call of Duty coming at us within the next year or so, a year plus from now, let's say 2 years from now. We have so much Call of Duty coming out, so much Call of Duty to experience. Where does this game fit in? And that's one of the things that I keep talking about and I keep stressing and I keep harping on about, is where does this game fit in? Is the timing right for this game? The timing for this game would not have been right when they released it with Campaign Remastered. As much as everyone wants to complain, as much as everyone wants to complain about, you should have just released it to us as a whole game, and to be honest, I was one of them. If I was one of those people that was in the mindset of, if they're going to release this, release it as a whole package. Don't split it up between two. Release it as Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, not Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, not Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. Just do it as one game. Now that they've done it as two separate games, I am of the belief that releasing it at that time with the campaign was fair enough. They were sitting on that project for 2 years. They finally found a decent time to release it, and they did it. And I think, again, as we can see here from the Gaming Revolution's quotes, they're still not done with the multiplayer, so they could never have brought it out with the campaign. The campaign was finished long ago. The multiplayer is seemingly still in development. So we just got to find the right time for that multiplayer to be released. And literally, man, like, if I understand where they're coming from, because the hardest thing, at least at this point in time, is appeasing to both sets of fans. Because at this current point in time, as a result of releasing like the advanced moving games and stuff like that, we got two separate fan bases. The old school fan base that understands what Call of Duty was back in the day with Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, and those old school Call of Duty games. And then we have the franchise fanatics that are here right now, that love Modern Warfare, that love all the advanced movement games, that think everything that Infinity Ward is doing with Modern Warfare is the best thing that God has ever done, which isn't necessarily the case, but then people do seem to believe that that is the case. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is still the shambles, and while Warzone is really, really fun, the multiplayer is still is shambolic, to say the least. So I don't know, where do you find the balance? Where do you find the right time and all that sort of stuff? And I know I keep repeating myself here, but it's literally the one thing that I think that the community as a whole needs to understand, is that we're getting so much Call of Duty, and this is a business to them. This is a business to Activision. So why you never want to sort of release quantity over quality. And while you could argue that Modern Warfare is not necessarily quality, it's there, and there's a player base playing that, and there's a player base that enjoys that game. So I think that we need to sort of just pump the brakes, calm down, and let them do what they're gonna do to the development of this game. Keep in mind the PS5 and Xbox Series X is coming out this year as well. So are they just going to release the multiplayer on this current generation, the PS4 and the Xbox One, or are they going to redevelop that to make it sort of feel like a next gen game while it was being developed on the current generation of consoles? They may already be developing it for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. They may already have their dev kits for those consoles, and they're developing it for those systems right now as we speak. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what their plan is, but the one thing that we do know is that Modern Warfare's multiplayer is garbage and Warzone's pretty great. So I think that we can keep hold and we can relax and we can calm down right now about Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. Let's just let them release the game when they want to release it. It's in development, it's happening. Let's let them do what they want to do with it, because I think that Honestly, if I was in that development team, the hardest thing that I would come to grips with is how do we balance this game? Do we fix the issues? Do we not? That's the hardest thing that I think that they're going through right now in terms of developing this game. So let's just let them sort of do what they want to do. And when it comes out, let's play it, let's experience it, and we'll make our decision when that moment happens. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below. What do you think about Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered in light of all the recent leaks and in light of the Gaming Revolution's current quotes and comments? What do you think about this game's development? What do you think about this game as a whole? Do you think it's ever going to come out? And if you were to choose, balance the game, don't balance the game, what would you choose in the comments down below? Click subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on my next video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Beeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bat. Snapping with a phone and dab. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in the drip and sip blockbuster. Win, 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 that's the only ammo. Ring, 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 I reply with NO. Call me Leno, how the hot.